Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's your host, Mikey G. Welcome to the show. We're going to be reacting to a little bit more of the shooting that happened at the mosque in San Diego. Luckily, it could have been worse. And I just want to give a shout out to the security guard who prevented things from getting worse. The security guard risked his own life. We still don't know much information about the security guard yet, but he risked his life. And he should be commended and awarded, in my opinion. And it's just sad that it's just, I don't know, it's just sad. But give me a few moments. I'm pulling up additional information here. We're going to react to the shooter. It still just blows my mind, crazy. Give me a moment, you guys. We're pulling up additional information real quick. I just and yikes! And we're gonna try to figure out more about what happened at the San Diego mosque shooting. Try to understand who was doing what was going on. But I'm trying to understand here. Thank you guys for being so patient, though. I really appreciate you. Thank you for your patience, everybody. All right, let's go. Let's react to a few videos and let's do our thing. Oh, pulling up the information now. Here's some photos of the suspect.
Meanwhile, 3 people killed in a shooting at San Diego's largest mosque.
Actually,
yesterday.
this might be
2 teenage suspects.
This might be a little bit outdated. Hold on. Give me a moment. I'm still trying to see here. We'll just go. Well, let's take a look at this New York Post.
A peaceful sunny morning in Southern California turned into utter chaos after 2 teen gunmen opened fire on a San Diego mosque in an alleged suicidal anti-Muslim shooting spree.
It's crazy,
Who are
man.
Kane Clark and Caleb Velasquez, the alleged Islamic Center shooters? And what were their reported motives for the heinous act? Here's what you need to know.
I'm confused.
On May
as much as anybody
18th,
else,
a
man.
San Diego neighborhood was hurled into mayhem when 2 suspected teenage gunmen fired shots at San Diego's largest mosque, Kids, staff, and teachers cowered inside as several shots rang out at the San Diego Islamic Center in the city's Claremont neighborhood. Authorities said officers swarmed the Islamic Center within 4 minutes of the first emergency calls, launching what police described as a fast-moving and, quote, dynamic response. By the time cops responded, the 2 teenage gunmen had already killed 3 men, including hero security guard Amin Abdullah. Authorities confirmed Abdullah, a father of 8, played a, quote, pivotal role in holding back the shooters.
One of the deceased is a security guard that works there, and I think played a pivotal role in assisting from this being much worse.
Yeah.
Terrifying aerial video from
Glizzy Breath says absolutely pitiful. I know. I agree. I think that the whole thing is disturbing and it's rotten to the core. It's rotten to the core, man.
From Fox 5 San Diego captured more than a dozen kids who looked no older than 5 years old, evacuating in a single file as they were guided to safety by law enforcement. Police later found the 2 gunmen, identified by a law enforcement source as 17-year-old Kane Clark and 18-year-old Caleb Velasquez, dead inside.
I just don't understand. Wait, so they killed themselves in the car? Hold on.
Evacuating in a single file as they were guided to safety by law enforcement. Police later found the 2 gunmen, identified by a law enforcement source as 17-year-old Kane Clark and 18-year-old Caleb Velasquez, dead inside a BMW from self-inflicted gunshot wounds only a few blocks from the center.
Wow. I mean, I want to know that. Look, I mean, it's obviously crazy people. I just want to know, why did you do that, dude? Why did you do that? It's absolutely despicable. It's grotesque. It's disgusting, man.
Center. And police are still piecing together why
without a doubt
2 camouflaged teens went on the rampage. According to police, a concerned mother of one of the suspected teen shooters had frantically alerted cops a few hours before that her suicidal son had run away. But the situation escalated when the mother later learned that weapons were missing from the home and her car was gone. She told authorities her son had dressed in camouflage and was with an acquaintance at the time, which San Diego Police Chief Scott Wall noted changed the threat level of the investigation.
That began to trigger a larger threat assessment picture. Our threat management unit began to take the tips and leads that we had and utilize the technology we have available to us. Our license plate readers was at the top of that list. We began to have, we noted that there were hits with the vehicle down in Fashion Valley.
Yeah.
We dispatched officers into the area of the mall.
This is just wild.
As a
This is
possible
absolutely wild.
location that was a threat.
Police spent 2 hours scrambling to locate the suspects before they received a call of an active shooter at the Islamic Center at approximately 11:43 a.m.
Okay.
Police confirmed they are investigating the attack as a hate crime and that hate rhetoric was, quote, involved in the shooting. Sources told the Post.
Hey, how's it going, Annie? Yeah, so there's not a lot of new info from what I can gather. One thing I can say is it just appears that, I don't know, we have an idea. We know who the shooters are, or the suspected shooters. I mean, it's just wild to me, man. Hopefully they're able to paint a better picture here soon, so we can understand what the heck's happening.
Post that anti-Islamic writings were found in the suspect's vehicle and hate speech was written on the firearms used in the shooting. A shotgun and gas can with an SS sticker on the side were located at the scene where the gunmen's bodies were discovered. The SS sticker appears to represent the Schutzstaffel, the paramilitary organization led by Heinrich Himmler under Adolf Hitler's Nazi regime in Germany. Cops said the San Diego mosque shooters were, quote, radicalized online. A supposed live stream video of the horrific attack obtained by the California Post shows Clark with a black sun symbol, which is associated with Nazi Germany, square on his chest. Also spotted on the handgun of one of the shooters is the statement, "Race war now," right above a swastika. Clark, one of the suspected shooters, attended Madison High School and was a standout wrestler, according to the school's social media page. His grandfather, David Clark, said, quote, "We're very sorry for what happened. We know as much as you do. It's a shock." A neighbor of one of the suspected gunmen said they knew the family, quote, fairly well, and even said that the alleged gunman would help them bring in groceries and waved at them that very morning.
And he's helped us bring in our groceries. They all have. They got me a cake when I turned 80.
I mean, that's like, it's some monstrous behavior, man. It's disturbing. Like it's disturbing, monstrous behavior. What do you guys think? I don't know, man. I don't know. But let's keep watching, I guess, you know. Let's keep going.
Growing up, he was typical. We've seen with
Wild.
Green hair and blue hair,
crazy.
and we didn't talk much. But then, like I said, he helped us bring in our groceries, and he'd wave at us. In fact, he just waved at you when? Today or yesterday?
This morning.
Yeah.
The Islamic Center of San Diego will be closed as police continue their investigation. Wall said authorities would be reviewing the center's cameras and still had to sort through a, quote, tremendous amount of information. Sources told The Post the FBI is also investigating the alleged horrifying live stream footage from the suspected shooters. The center's Imam Taha Hassan said that his community is mourning after the horrific massacre.
The door of the Islamic Center, we never ask them whether you are a Muslim or not, who are you? Because everyone is welcome. So let's do our best to spread this culture of love and tolerance and sympathy for the sake of this nation, for the sake of the future generation.
Unbelievable, man. Stunned. Straight up. I don't know. What do you guys think, though? It's kind of wild. But let's keep watching. I guess try to understand what else. Try to figure out, you know. Here's CBS.
We call them our brothers in the community. We call them our martyrs and our heroes.
His actions, without a doubt, delayed, distracted, and ultimately deterred these two individuals from gaining access to the greater areas of the mosque where as many as 140 kids were within 15 feet. All three of our victims did not die in vain.
Tonight, we are learning more about the three men killed in yesterday's shooting at the Islamic Center of San Diego. Good evening, and thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Steve Price. We know one was a security guard. Another had been part of the Islamic Center community since the 1980s, and all three were fathers. We have team coverage for you tonight. Our Alex Cheney has been working for you all day, gathering information about exactly what led up to and happened during yesterday's shooting. But first, let's go out to News 8's Shannon Handy, who has more on the three victims. And Shannon, what are you hearing about them tonight?
Well, Steve, these three men were integral parts of the Islamic Center community. Today, not only do we hear more about who they were as people, but how their actions saved lives.
Regardless if you were a Muslim, okay, if you were Christian, if you were Jewish, if you had no faith, he didn't care. He would treat you human to human. He would smile at people he did not know. You can see the happiness and just who he was as a person, just looking at his face.
The daughter of security guard Amin Abdullah described her father as being both welcoming and a protector, explaining how seriously he took his job.
So seriously to the point, sometimes he didn't even want to eat. He wanted to save his food till after he left the job because he was afraid that if he went on his break, something bad would happen.
Even after getting shot, Amin,
dude, that's like straight up dedication right there, brother. That is straight up levels of dedication. Holy smokes, man. That's a real stud, man. It's a good man. Damn, bro. Damn. You guys will have to give me a moment. I'm gonna fill up my bowl real quick. I'll be right back.
Was still able to alert people inside the building to go into lockdown mode. Amna's sister was one of the teachers inside.
They got the alert. They started going into, emergency activation protocols to go into disaster mode, to lock down the classrooms, to close the lights, to, put all the kids in a corner, make sure everybody's quiet, and then wait for the next steps from there. And thankfully, thank God, the next steps were police actually came to evacuate them instead of the armed suspects who could have potentially came inside, because in that case, they would have been open.
The security guard for that place did everything right. And honestly, he's a hero. That guy's a hero. The security guard is a straight up hero. Through and through. Without a doubt. Unbelievable. Amazing human being, man. Amazing. Let's keep going.
They would have been all open range to getting shot.
All three victims were dedicated family men and longtime members of the Islamic Center. Mansour Kaziha ran the store at the mosque and was known as being the leader's right-hand man. Nadir Awad's wife is a teacher at the school. When he heard shots, he ran from his nearby home. Loved ones say it's hard to imagine going back without them there. But if anything good could come from this tragedy, it's to unite in their honor and continue their legacy.
And I hope this moment we can all come together and to be kind to one another.
My community is mourning. My community is keeping our three heroes in their prayers.
Yeah.
And tonight at 6:30, there will be a vigil for those three victims here at Lindbergh Community Park, which is just next to the mosque. Steve?
Without question, they saved a lot of lives. Shannon, thank you. And we have been learning a lot about the circumstances that led up.
My God, that could have been much worse. Very true. It could have been much worse, man. It really could have been worse. And thank goodness it didn't, That man should be regarded, the security guard should be regarded as a hero. And everybody else who lost their lives as well. The other two men, security guard and the other two men, it's wild, man. When stuff like that happens, it's just like, it kind of just, kind of get taken aback a little bit, you know? Kind of don't really know what to say. You don't know what to think. It's kind of crazy. And it's stuff like this just shouldn't be happening, man. I mean, where do we go as a society to where people want to do this, you know? I just don't like the fact that people are hurting others, you know? It sucks. Maybe I'm a little sensitive to this stuff. I don't know. It just rubs me the wrong way.
Up to this shooting and what happened during it. Authorities say the shooters left behind a manifesto with hate messages. News 8's Alex Cheney joins us now live with the details on.
I want to know what the heck was in that manifesto. These guys were sick. The two teenagers who did this, disgusting, sick individuals, straight up. And it's just wild to me, man. It's wild.
On what we know right now, Alex.
Yes, Steve, the San Diego Police Department gave an update today in their investigation and exactly a timeline on what happened as those two suspects tried to enter the mosque. And the FBI also revealed more into their investigation into those two suspects.
We're going to try to cover many of the developments that we've learned over the last 24 hours.
San Diego Police Chief Scott Wall, along with the FBI and Mayor Gloria, spoke to the media this afternoon and named the three victims. The first is security guard Amin Abdullah, who was the first to confront the suspects outside of the mosque and used his radio to engage the mosque's lockdown protocol while in a gun battle.
And ultimately deter these two individuals from gaining access to the greater areas of the mosque.
Chief Wall says the lockdown protocol and sound of gunfire allowed everyone.
I'm glad the security guard was able to do what he needed to do, but still, it just, I don't know. It's screwed up, man.
Everyone in the common areas of the mosque to go into hiding, including school children.
Where as many as 140 kids were within 15 feet.
Video from inside shows the two suspects going from room to room in the front area of the mosque. But those rooms had no victims inside.
Some of the video surveillance shows that they're going into areas where thankfully nobody was at.
That's when Wall says the suspect.
Which is good, by the way. Nobody was there in those areas. Nobody could get hurt, thank goodness. And the police arrived, which was good. Crazy.
Suspects then looked out a window and ran through a door into the parking lot where they found the two other.
I just want to know what that manifesto says.
Victims, Mansour Kaziha and Nadir Awad, drawing their attention.
And both suspects were able to successfully corner them and kill both of them.
Chief Wall says while the suspects.
That's so fucked up, dude. That's extremely messed up, brother. It's so insane. It's so bloody insane, man.
Were in the parking lot, they heard the sound of police sirens and fled back to their vehicle, saving countless lives.
Massive response that was seconds away, undoubtedly pushed both of the suspects to run back to their vehicle and flee the parking lot.
Police would not release the names of the two suspects, but the FBI did share they are conducting interviews with the suspects' family and friends. Agents recovered 30 guns, a crossbow, and ammunition after conducting 3 search warrants at residences related to the suspects. Agents found religious writing and a manifesto in their car as they tried to establish a motive.
We are dedicating every resource the FBI has to conduct a thorough analysis of that manifesto to try to learn what led to this, but I think also more importantly, how can we stop future attacks?
The FBI also says they have the electronic devices. They've gotten search warrants for those of the two suspects and are investigating the hate speech that they found on those devices. Reporting live, I'm Alex Cheney. Back over to you, Steve.
Yeah, fortunately, so many officers close by, they did get there quickly. Probably saved a lot of lives. Alex, thank you. And we are working for you to get
without a doubt, man. Without a doubt.
The latest details on the deadly shooting. You can get the latest alerts by downloading our free CBS 8 app on your phone and TV or follow us on social media.
Yeah, that's wholly disturbing, man. Well, let's see what else we got. Well, give me one moment. There we go. One moment. Well, let's take a look at this.
We have a Fox News alert. Thomas Massie trailing Ed Galrine, the Kentucky House primary, by 8%. But now we're just getting a call in.
Wait, is Ed Gallerin, is he the mega, is he the guy that they wanted to win for the Republican primary? I mean, is that who Trump backed? I think Trump backed this guy. Maybe he did.
Galrine has defeated incumbent Thomas Massie after Donald Trump endorsed Galrine. And a huge amount of money spent on this race. We're going to go right to Doug Schoen. Doug, I think we all knew this was coming. When Donald Trump gets involved in one of these races, how rare is it?
Oh yeah.
For a
the base
Trump
lights
foe
up, dude. The base lights up,
win.
bro.
It's very rare, and Laura, this sends a message to the entire Republican Party and indeed the entire country, as I was saying before, that the power of the Trump brand to motivate voters, in this instance, 12-year incumbent beaten by a newcomer because of the Trump endorsement. And I think my party would make a very big mistake underestimating the power of the Trump brand and the fact that, as you say,
MAGA's still stronger than people realize. I mean, people aren't done with MAGA. Dude, MAGA's still big, dude. MAGA is still big. It's not done. We ain't done, bro. MAGA still lives,
correctly,
dude.
He has not lost a primary yet. He wins Louisiana. He wins the Kentucky Senate primary, and now this key House race. So I don't think this can be overestimated, Laura.
Yeah, and look, I think we heard from Massie it was a lot about Israel, and this is Israel's race. It's not America. Well, the voters of Kentucky did not agree with that. I mean, it's their district. It's the fourth district. It's their vote. It's their view. They did not buy what Tom Massie was saying. It looks like with these results on the Israel, component of this, even on the war, even if they want this war wrapped up, they are giving the benefit of the doubt to Donald Trump over Thomas Massie, the Epstein file.
Yeah, here's the thing, because I think Donald Trump is still our president. I think he's a good president. I think he's one of the best we've had in a long time. Yeah. Firmly what I believe.
All of that. Trump wins. Bill Hemmer is going to, hold on one second, hold that thought. Bill Hemmer is going to join us now. This is the Trump effect, is it not? Bill Hemmer, wake up, America.
It sure is. Laura, what I would say is that the tail end of that report a moment ago, think about Bill Cassidy, a senator in Louisiana, right? He's in a primary race in that state against two other candidates. And the president does not endorse Cassidy. He goes for the other candidate, and she wins. Bill Cassidy loses his primary. That was just Saturday. Now you got this unknown Ed Galrine, who comes out of Kentucky against Thomas Massie, who's been in the public light now for 7 terms, 14 years. Now, he is knocked out. And then earlier today, the president endorses Ken Paxton in Texas. Why is that important? Because Texas has got the same 50% threshold, so they got to have a runoff on Tuesday, the day after Memorial Day. Now, Paxton against John Cornyn, some of the polling suggested that Cornyn had a slight lead there. And you think today, after that endorsement by the president, that whole race could change as well. So in a period of 10 days, you've got the president weighing in on 3 significant primary races. In all likelihood, he has a chance now to go 3 for 3. And the reason that's important for federal office during the primaries, not the state level.
It means that Trump is still popular and that the Democrats are not popular. Nobody likes the Democratic Party. Well, some people do, unfortunately. But the problem is the Democrats, I don't even think they like themselves half the time. If you guys have Democrat fatigue, please make sure that you tap the not subscribe button, but please double tap the screen to like the stream. If you guys can tap the like button, the more likes we get, the better. It does help the channel grow. You guys are amazing. Amazing. I'm trying to sound like Alex Jones for a second. You know, it's going to sound like Alex Jones, you know, like, you know, if you want to sound like Alex Jones, you just kind of sound like this a little bit, you know, blah, blah, blah. You know, globalists. No, Alex Jones is my boy, though. Make sure you guys double tap the screen, though. If you get, just tap the like button, man. Tap the like button, double tap your screen, whatever you got to do, bro.
Well, for federal office, he has endorsed dozens and dozens of candidates, well over 70, okay? In some of those races, there were no...
Trump. Yeah, Trump is the man. Donald Trump is the man. Everybody jealous right now. Everybody jealous right now. No, double tap your screen if you think that Trump is the man, yo. If you think he's the man, double tap your screen to like the stream, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
There was no competition, all right? But a lot of them, like this one, there has been. Point being, when the president puts his thumb on the scale of politics during the Republican primary season, he has been a winner every single time.
Well, what does this say to Lauren Boebert, Bill? Lauren Boebert.
Well, she came into Kentucky on Saturday. Rand Paul was there with his wife. Yep. Warren Davidson, a Republican from Ohio, he came in as well. All to campaign on behalf of Thomas Massey.
Hell yeah.
And, that was their
Trump
judgment.
threatened to pull his endorsement, right?
Yeah,
of her?
Right. And we'll see what happens in Colorado when her race comes up. But
oh, we got Larson Christopher in the house. What up, Larson? My man, dude. Got Larson. We got Censored. We got... Because we got Annie, obviously. Annie's a rock star. Holy crap, you guys. This is crazy.
But right now, Laura, this is a...
Guys, once again, we need more likes. So if you guys can help us get more likes, just double tap the screen. We need it, man. We need more double taps. So if you guys double tap your screen, it does give us a like. So I appreciate any likes that you guys want to give. So the more double taps, well, not more, but the more people who double tap the screen, the stronger the show gets, and the more recognition you may get.
This is a resounding victory for the president and the power he has now in the Republican Party.
I think Trump's got a lot of power in the Republican Party overall. I think a lot of people back Trump, and they want to see Trump succeed. I think it's a big deal.
At just about every level. Remember in Indiana, the state senators who nobody even thought about, right? When he endorsed almost 6 out of 7, 6 of them won, Laura.
Yeah, well, Raffensperger in Georgia looks like that. You know, he did terribly there. So another Trump foe. Yeah, that's good. That's coming up, but that's another one. We'll watch that result, but that is not going to be positive. My prediction is, in the end, for Raffensperger. Look, Donald Trump won the presidency twice. They tried to kill him. They tried to put him in jail. He's just better at politics than these other Republicans. When will they learn that? Maybe never.
Be sure to like and subscribe for all the Fox News latest.
See, the thing is, Trump's the GOAT, dude. Trump is the GOAT. Trump knows his shit. Trump knows what he's doing, bro. That's all I got to say. Well, I got more to say. Give me one moment. This will take a few moments, class. You guys are hot. Give me a moment. Oh. Let's take a look-see. Jesse Waters.
Fox News alert, the president's been speaking with his national security team after calling off airstrikes at the last second.
Can I just say that I'm, sometimes I get a little, I don't want to say bricked, but Jesse Waters is the man. Jesse Waters is the man. Just saying.
How close were you to striking around?
I was.
Larson Christopher says no chance that Mayweather could beat Tyson or Holyfield. I don't know. I mean, Floyd Mayweather's pretty good, and if we're talking about current Floyd Mayweather and current Mike Tyson, I think unless you're talking about prime Mike Tyson, that's a different story. Prime Mike Tyson would demolish Mayweather. If you guys can, though, don't forget to tap a gift. Basically, tap a gift and you'll get an instant shout out. Let me put that up real quick.
Real Garza says, tap a gift equals instant shout out.
There we go. Let's go.
I was an hour away. We were all set to go. You're talking about yesterday.
Yes.
We were going to be striking it would have been happening right now. Yeah, it was all done. The boats, the ships are all loaded. They're loaded to the brim. And we were all set to start.
Our Gulf allies begged the president to give peace a chance, but 47 declared a new deadline, Memorial Day.
I'm saying 2 or 3 days, maybe Friday, Saturday, Sunday, something, maybe early next week, a limited period of time. Because we can't let them have a nuclear weapon.
No, you can't. You cannot allow them to have a nuclear weapon, period, end of story. Period, end of story.
If they had a nuclear weapon, they would start with Israel. They would blow it up, and they would blow it up fast.
The president's ordered his team to be prepared to bomb at a moment's notice. So it could happen tonight, Friday, whenever. Generals say the Iranians are going to wage economic terrorism until we take our fingers off the trigger.
Iran is attacking the Gulf states because they want that pressure put on the administration to stop the war. They got a ceasefire out of it, and now they're extending the ceasefire some 6 weeks, and they're absolutely convinced if they string this out closer to the midterms and oil prices continue to rise as a result of it, that the president may just wash his hands of the whole thing and declare victory. That's kind of what their objective is here. War is fundamentally about breaking will here, and they want to break our will.
The Persians are...
Here's the thing, though, man. It's like how Iran doesn't stand a chance. I say Trump just needs to get this over with, dude. He keeps extending the deadline. Do you know how many times the deadline has been extended for Iran? How many opportunities Iran has had to come to the table? Double tap the screen to like the stream if you guys are tired of Iran. If you guys think that Iran has had too many chances, one too many, double tap the screen if you want Trump to take massive levels of action as quickly as possible.
Squirrely. They've been doing this for decades. It's like negotiating with an octopus who has amnesia.
They also are just a fractured country. So you have the leadership of the country, there's the supreme leader, and then there are a lot of officials below the supreme leader that has some influence in the negotiation. It's not sometimes totally clear what the negotiating position of the team is. And I don't know if that's sometimes bad communication, if that's bad faith. I wouldn't pretend to venture a guess there, but I will say with confidence, it's sometimes hard to figure out exactly what it is that the Iranians want to accomplish out of the negotiation.
The Iranians love the ceasefire. If we bomb them again, it hurts them. If we cut a deal, kind of hurts them because they lose leverage and risk a revolution.
Yeah.
Iran's frozen on a war footing, and it actually freezes the regime in power. CENTCOM Commander Admiral Brad Cooper was on the Hill today, and he says they've been using the ceasefire to go on a killing spree.
We saw them kill tens of thousands of their own people, and since the ceasefire, we've seen them hang dozens of people. Gotcha. Just yesterday, you saw the chief of police proudly announce that they arrested 6,500 Iranians for no reason.
Trump has to change.
Yeah, Iran's cooked, dude. Iran's government is cooked. And it cannot be stated enough that Iran's government needs to tumble, needs to be toppled. Straight up. I think you guys know that I'm right. Right? Oh, yeah. Okay. Let's get to it.
Change the status quo. Iran's wounded, they're cornered, but they haven't surrendered. Meanwhile, costs are going up, and Iran's using the ceasefire to flex on CNN.
These kiosks have been set up in each of these sort of squares where members of the military there, you can see them with masks on, they're showing people.
Give me one moment, you guys. Okay, let's get to it. I like Poland. Oh, yeah.
In this case, a woman, the basic skills of how to use what I think is an AK-47 or a Kalashnikov and things like that. And look over here, they're showing children how to use them as well. It's all part.
Jeez, brother. What the hell?
Of a sort of state-sponsored call to arms in case the war begins again.
CNN's being used by the mullahs, and they don't seem to care. The network is not.
CNN is anybody's dog for a bone, allegedly. That's the way I look at it. CNN is so anti-Trump that they are willing to be pro-Iranian government, which is basically slaughter their own people at a massive scale. It's just crazy.
Not helping the United States.
It's all guns on state television too. It's several Iranian channels broadcasting their hosts brandishing assault rifles. They gave me a weapon so I could learn how to use it, like you, this anchor tells her viewers. After his on-air training, this presenter fires off a round into the studio ceiling.
Iran doesn't look like they're ready to sign a treaty. They're trying to.
Yeah, I don't think Iran is. You know what? I think what we need to do, we just need to go in guns a-blazing. I don't like that answer. I don't like that as a... It feels wrong because I don't like to see bloodshed. But there's got to be something that's done. Something's got to give. Something has got to give.
To bait us into a ground invasion and look tough domestically. It's their only play because their arsenal's almost gone.
Operation Epic Fury significantly degraded Iran's ballistic missiles and drones while destroying 90% of their defense industrial base, ensuring that Iran cannot reconstitute for years. And then finally, Iran spent decades and billions of dollars arming proxies. Today,
90% of Iran's defense has been completely wiped out. That's beautiful. You know what that means? Iran's got no real leg to stand on. They can't go against the U.S. head to head.
Hamas, Hezbollah, and the Houthis are cut off from Iran's weapons supply and support.
The mullahs don't have the proxies or their sugar daddy. Xi's not so happy with the gay Ayatollah.
Nope. Hey, you leave the gay Ayatollah alone, Jesse Waters. Come on, Brony. It's my home dog.
He wants the straight open. But his boy Putin just landed in Beijing, and Pooty Poot's telling him, let's keep it closed. High oil prices are funding my war in Ukraine. But the blockade's still undefeated. Overnight, an Iranian blockade runner known as the Skywave tried crossing the Indian Ocean. Ship was loaded back in February with over 1 million barrels of crude from Kharg Island. Lloyd.
It's a lot of crude oil. The Blue Gulf, eh? Oh, dude, Clown TV's looking good. I'm watching a little Clown TV real quick. Hold on.
It says Skyway was coming back from Asia. Unclear if they ever got a chance to unload. This is now the third runner that we've seized. And NATO's thinking about sending troops to Hormuz if the strait isn't opened by July 4th. Gas prices are putting pressure on the White House.
We are very aware that because of what's going on in the Middle East, gas prices have gone up and a lot of Americans are struggling because of that. Our view is that it is a temporary increase. We're taking a number of steps to try to push back against it and try to ensure that Americans are paying as little at the pump as possible. But I feel quite confident after we've taken care of business in the Middle East, those prices are going to come down.
How much pain can we?
Yeah, here's the thing, man. I think we just need to... I think the blockade just... Why even bother with the blockade? Why not just go after? Just figure out where they're firing missiles from, try to take out any additional Iranian vessels, and then just call it a day. I mean, the U.S. military's already wiped out the majority of Iran's military. What more can Iran do to us? Not much.
We tolerate. Trump said it had to be done and should have been done by Sleepy or Hussein.
If I left today, it would take them 25 years to rebuild. But we're not leaving. We're going to do it right so that in 5 years, 10 years, if you have a bad president who doesn't want to do what's right to do, this should have been done by Obama. This should have been done by Biden. It should have been.
Yeah, you talking about the ballroom? Oh no, are we talking about Iran? No, he's talking about Iran. I think Trump is talking about Iran. That Biden should have done this a long time ago. Obama definitely should have. All these presidents talked a big game about Iran, but never actually did anything about Iran. That's the problem. You know what I mean? They never did anything about him, and that's a big deal. Trump actually has the cojones to do something about Iran, and all people want to do is complain. That's all people want to do, man. They just want to complain, complain, and complain. Sorry, Trump's too good at what he does, bro. Hold on, I hear a lot of crows outside, so give me a second. Okay, it's just a bunch of crows outside of my window. Oh, Trump's the man, though, dude. Dark City 2004 says Trump is a failure, bro. I don't know. I don't think so. I know some people want to say so, but it's just not true. I don't believe that's true in any way. Obviously, there's going to be people who disagree, but we'll see. Ultimately, we shall see. All right, let's keep going.
Done by other presidents long before me. And everybody agrees to that.
The president wants this to end with the Iranians crying uncle, but the Democrats say we should be the ones crying.
What's the plan now?
That's because all Democrats do is cry. They cry, they whine, they bitch. That's the Democrat battle cry, man. It's just whine and cry about everything, you know? That's what they do. That's what the Dems do, dude.
Actually win this war, because it feels like we're losing. It doesn't seem to be going well, and I would like to know how many more Americans we have to ask to die for this mistake. Do you know? I think it's an entirely inappropriate statement from you, sir.
The president's giving diplomacy time. A lot of people feel like it's been too much time. Either way, the White House is committed to seeing this done.
I think a lot of Americans, especially in my generation, who are worried about forever endless conflicts, we have to remember, I think you said 11 weeks, a big chunk of that has been a ceasefire. This is not a forever war. We're going to take care of business and come home. That's what the president's promised, and that's exactly what he's going to deliver.
Be sure to like and subscribe for all the
President Trump's the man. That's all I got to say. That's all I know, man. Hey, Trump's the man, whether you guys like to admit it or not. Give me just a few moments. One more moment. Oh, there's a congressional picnic that happened earlier. Hell yeah.
Thank you, Chair. Good evening and welcome to the White House on this beautiful evening. I have a breaking news. Today, the House passed the Fostering the Future Act. Yeah. Thank you, Chairman Smith, Chairman LaHood, Ranking Member Davis, and the House of Representatives for voting in.
Have I been glazed today is what ET is asking. Yes. Am I glazing? Yes. When am I not? I think that's the main question you need to ask is when am I not glazing? Consistently, that's what this show's about, bro. We pride ourselves in our ability to glaze the way that we do. We glaze a lot. Are we ashamed of it? No. Do we care? Not really. We will glaze as much as we need to glaze, bro.
Earnestly to lift America's foster children above partisan politics. Senators, we have momentum. Now it's your turn to bring the Fostering the Future Act across the finish line. Let's support our next generation and swiftly get this to the President for his signature. The White House Congressional Picnic has been cherished American tradition for a great part of our nation's 250-year history. Beyond politics, it provides an important social ritual where our nation's leaders share a moment of lightheartedness as we transition into the warm summer months. This evening's beautiful setting brings families from both sides of the political aisle together to enjoy Americana, the Marine Band's wonderful music, great food, and some friendly gaming competition.
Hell yeah.
This great American social tradition reminds us that some fun and laughter with our families can bring unity.
E.T. is saying, Garza, you are the man, no other YouTuber is above you. It's true. It's really true, to be honest. I am the greatest YouTuber. My God. I am the GOAT. I am the GOAT. I'm the greatest YouTuber of all time. Okay.
Especially with our children and loved ones by our side. I have seen firsthand how much can be accomplished when Republicans and Democrats come together with a shared purpose, particularly for the betterment of our children. We experience great bipartisan success.
So Larson Christopher says he was in boot camp when Rumsfeld sold the war with Iraq to Americans. Damn, man. Damn.
With the Take It Down Act, I saw the spirit of American unity shine once again during my recent engagement with the House Ways and Means Committee as we began to shape legislation to protect America's foster care community. Young Americans deserve every opportunity to learn, grow, and succeed, and I believe we will continue making meaningful progress on their behalf. Make the most of this evening so that we can be impactful together with greater alignment in the future. And now it's my pleasure to introduce my husband, President Donald J. Trump.
Thank you. Good job. Greatest president of all time, bro. The GOAT. Let's go, dude. Let's get it.
Good job.
Heck yeah.
What a great job. I have to follow that. I hate it. I never like following our great First Lady because it makes me look not so good. I want to thank all of you for being here. It's amazing, actually. And thank you, Melania. We're truly blessed to have such a First Lady. She's been so popular. She did a movie, it became #1. She then went to streaming, it became #1. And I say there's only room, remember this, for 1 star in a family, so I better get rid of that. That's not so good. But she's been amazing, and people love her, as you can see by the results, and that was a big thing today. Congratulations on that vote. She had a bipartisan vote. I should use you for some of the things I want to try and pass. but I join Melania in congratulating the House of Representatives on passing the Fostering the Future Act, which is a big deal, and this afternoon to modernize foster care, an issue close to the First Lady's heart, and hopefully it will quickly pass in the Senate. I'm sure it will. It's great. It's a great thing. And I want to thank everybody. We have a lot of senators. We have a lot of Congress people. And I want to thank you all. I'm thrilled to welcome you all to the White House this evening for a very special annual tradition, the Congressional Picnic. It's been going on for many years. And we're joined by many of the members of the House and the Cabinet, Senate. And I just want to say a special hello to the Speaker of the House, Mike Johnson. He's going to go down as one of the great speakers. We've done a lot together. We've done a lot. Where are you, Mike?
I was kind of skeptical about Mike Johnson before, but I think he's done a pretty superb job, to be honest. A pretty good job overall. So kudos to Mr. Mike Johnson.
Where are you, Mike? Hi, Mike. There he is. He's a great guy, actually, and he's worked so hard. I want to thank also John Thune, who's worked so hard, and he's been really he's a terrific person. He really is a terrific person. And we have a lot of things to pass, but one of the things we did pass was a great, big, beautiful bill, and that covered a lot of territory. I want to tell you, we said, let's do it all in one time, and it was 4 years worth in one bill. Everyone said that couldn't be done. And I want to congratulate and thank the Senate, House for the unbelievable job. And while there are too many members in the House and Senate, I see half of you right here, and I'd like to introduce everyone, but I want to let people enjoy themselves tonight. So, I'm
enjoying myself tonight, brother. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Trump, dude. This is amazing. I love it. I love the fact I didn't even know the Congressional Picnic was today, so it's interesting to hear Trump and Melania, Donald and Melania say say what they need to say. I don't even know much about the Congressional Picnic, to be honest.
We have so many representatives.
Wild stuff.
This evening, it will be something very special to remember that all of us here tonight continue a priceless tradition. This really is a great tradition. We represent the oldest and most extraordinary constitutional republic on the face of the earth, and a special privilege and a unique responsibility it is. It's really something very special. I'm standing here and I'm looking at our great American flag, and it's hard to believe, but I put that in 2 months ago, and I put one on the other side. You know, this is actually, in theory, this would be, I consider them both, we have two fronts. I've never figured out, nobody else has either, since if you think about it, 1792, nobody's figured out which is the front and which is the back of the White House. So when I'm speaking here, I say the front, and when I speak over there, I say the front. It actually has two fronts, and I put two flags up, and it's a great pole, and it's a beautiful flag, and it's amazing that it wasn't up before. We have another flag, slightly smaller, on the top of the White House, but it's a little bit on the smaller side. But everybody loves that pole. It's a beauty, and it represents so much. And I want to thank the company that put it up. They're the best. I think they make the best. It's hard to believe. I have so many different developments all over the world. I always like putting the flag up, and I know a lot about flagpoles, and that's the best flagpole there is. Okay, so
I love you, Donald, but goddamn it. Trump's the man, dude. Trump is the man, dude. Nah, I think Melania loves him. I think so. You could tell. You could tell, brother. You could tell. They are in love, man.
Congratulations. We have two of them. We got actually two for the price of one. We negotiated a tough deal. But finally we have a really representative flagpole.
You guys, if you guys love Trump as much as I do, double tap your screen to like the stream. If you guys think that Trump's the man, double tap your screen. If you guys think that we got the best president out there and the best vice president, double tap your screen. Let's go.
And flag up in front of our White House, so that's good. I also want to recognize the incredible congressional spouses, families, and children who make enormous sacrifices so that their loved ones can serve, so that their loved ones can get beat up by the fake news, so that their loved ones can also beat up the enemy. And they do that. They do. They're warriors. It's not easy, and I want to give them, the spouses, a very special hand today. Thank you. Thank you, darling. Thank you very much. Thank you. You put up with a lot. It's not easy. But on the eve of the 250th year, there's so much for our country to celebrate regarding the party. We have a party that's really at a point that I don't think we've ever been at. And America's thriving, America's winning, and America's respected, perhaps like it has never been respected before. If you go back 2 years, we were not respected. We were a dead country. I'll tell you what, we were a dead country. And today we're the hottest country anywhere in the world. There's nobody even close.
Yeah, baby.
And I don't know if you saw the numbers today, but the stock market's at an all-time high. We had 60.
That is honestly pretty wild. Now, I will admit, some of my small cap ETFs did take a bit of a plunge today. Not too much of a plunge, but I bought the dip, which is good. I love my ETFs, bro. We got Annie saying, hey, Chris. We got Uncle Chris in the house. Garza, look who's Uncle Chris. Guess who's back again. Uncle Chris is back. Tell a friend. Guess who's back? Guess who's back? Guess who's back? Now.
67 all-time highs, so we've been here for a little bit more than a year now, and we had 67 all-time highs, and I want to say
6-7. He said 67, 6-7, 6-7. Donald Trump just said 6-7, bro. Oh my God. He just said 6-7. Everybody send your 6-7 gifts.
That in our first term, we finished the term out, despite COVID and all the other things, we had really an amazing period of time, and we finished at the highest point in the history of the stock market, and now we're blowing it away. We're blowing everything away, and we're going to end that war very quickly. They want to make a deal so badly. They're tired of this. Should have happened for 47 years. Somebody should have done something about it, and it's going to happen, and it's going to happen fast, and you're going to see oil prices plummet. They're going to come down. There's so much oil out there. They're going to come plummeting down. But
Uncle Chris says 6-7, 6-7. Uncle Chris is bombarding us with 6-7s. I love it. Get him, Uncle Chris. We love you, bro. We're Uncle Chris fans in the house, so everybody give a shout out to Uncle Chris. 4-3. Trifecta.
But even with that, the stock market's at an all-time high. Jobless claims recently hit the lowest level since 1969, the best numbers since 1969, and more Americans are working today than at any time in the history of our country. Think of that. And we have a war. We have something happening that we just hit. It's very interesting. 2.5 months ago, we hit the best numbers that we've ever hit as a country. Jobs, the best. Everything was the best. Stock market, the highest. And I called my people in. I called them in. I said, congratulations, everybody, but we're going to have to make a little journey down to a place called Iran. We have to stop them. They have nuclear on their mind, and we're not going to let them have a nuclear weapon. And we've done a hell of a job, and I think we're going to be finished with that very quickly, and they won't have a nuclear weapon, and hopefully we're going to get it done in a very nice manner. Factory construction, as you heard today, also is up. Housing starts are up, and consumer spending is up. All things, we have an economy. People aren't seeing it yet. When we started, we had the highest inflation in the history of our country.
Thank
you,
Biden.
Actually had, just before the war, before the energy forced other things up, but up or down, we had the best numbers. We had inflation.
I mean, I think Biden was a real problem. I think Biden was one of the worst. If you guys can, please like and subscribe to the channel. The more likes we get, the better. The more subscribes we get, the better as well. So don't forget to like and subscribe. Let's keep going.
Inflation was at 1.6% for the last 3 months just prior to the war. And now you're going to see numbers like that again. We inherited high prices, and we got the prices down, and we got them down to numbers that in some cases people have not seen before. But think of it, inflation at 1.6%. Manufacturing right now is booming. American companies are purchasing core capital goods at the highest amounts ever in the history of our country.
Mr. TJ says socialized healthcare is terrible. Ask any Canadian. Oh, yeah. I just don't think it works in the end. That's the problem. Somebody's got to pay for it eventually. You know what I mean? So I think socialized healthcare ends up being a bad thing. But we got Mr. TJ in the house. My man, dude.
Our previously wide open border is now the most secure border in the history of the United States of America. And last year, remember, we inherited a mess. And last year, we had the largest drop in murder rate ever recorded to the lowest level in 125 years. That's the year 1900. Think of that.
Wow.
And working alongside many of you, and you are unbelievable, the senators, the cabinet members. We have such a great cabinet, and all of the congressmen and women. You're the most incredible people, but working alongside of many of you here, we passed that. Very important. And again, remember, I went to John and I went to Mike. I went to a lot of the senators and congressmen and women, and I said, we can try and do this at one time, get 4 years worth. That's why we call it the Great Big Beautiful Bill. We can do it at one time, give it a shot, but everybody says it's impossible to get approved. Well, we got 4 years worth of goodies approved in a period of time, and at a period of time that they said would be impossible. And we're lucky we did, and it's gotten a little bit harder as time goes by. In fact, the only one that gets things approved now are Melania and her friends. She gets them approved bipartisan. I'm going to talk to her later. I'm going to say, what are you doing? But it's great. It's great stuff. But what we did do is we got something done, and we're getting a lot approved. We're getting a lot. You're going to be seeing that too. You've been watching it. Amazing. With really small majorities, we've gotten record-setting numbers approved. And when you add no tax on tips and no tax on Social Security, all of the things, think of this, no tax on tips, no tax on overtime, no tax on Social Security for our great seniors, and that's just the start. A deduction, you buy a car and you get a deduction for the first time on the interest you're paying on your loan. If you're borrowing money, you take out a loan, you get a deduction. It's never happened before. We have so many different things. One other thing I have to say, because it's affected so many people, estate taxes or the death tax. You love your children. You want to pass on your estate to your children. Well, in the old days, meaning not so long ago, your children would have to go out and borrow tremendous amounts of money to go and take care of the farm or the small business, whatever it may be. But it especially affected those in small business, but more than anything, farmers. And they'd go out. The children would go out, borrow money from their bank, wouldn't be able to pay it back. Bad things happened to them. Many of them couldn't handle life, actually. And we got it. There's no estate tax. There's no death tax on your farm, on your small business. Nobody thought that was possible. So if you love your children, you can leave your business to your children. You can leave your farm to your children, and they'll be very happy. Now, if you don't love your children, don't bother. Then it doesn't matter.
What a stud, dude. What a stud, dude. Honestly, if you guys think that Trump's the man, like and subscribe to the stream. Once again, if you guys think that Trump is the man, like and subscribe, baby. We got Barney Bell saying hello to Stocks, Mr. TJ, and then we got TJ saying hello to Barney. Hello. My man, dude. My man. Sexy men. We got a lot of people in the house. We got E.T., we got Annie, TJ, Barney. Corgi has been all over the place. We got Uncle Chris. Shout out to all you guys. Larson Christopher. Trying to think of anybody else we're forgetting here. Oh, we got a whole butt ton of people. Who else do we got here? Who else am I missing? I don't even know who I'm missing right now. I think Glizzy Breath was on a little bit earlier. My boy Glizzy. Glizzy Breath.
Matter what I'm saying is just a big waste of time. But if you think of it, you have no death tax, you have no estate tax. You can leave it to your children, and we love that. It was so important to me. We've restored the American strength on the world stage. We're respected all over the world. You might have seen, I was in China a few days ago with President Xi, and it was some display. We had a great time, but we also got a lot of business done, a lot of great business for our farmers with soybeans, record purchases of soybeans and lots of other things. And they're buying many, many Boeing airplanes, and they're buying a lot of other things too. We had a great relationship. I've always had a great relationship with President Xi. Together, on a bipartisan basis, we passed the Lake and Riley Act.
Make China great again, by the way. Make China great again.
You get dangerous.
Yeah, no, make it. Honestly, I know that people hating on Trump or whatever, but, like, I don't get it, bro. I don't get the hate. People want to hate. People want to discriminate. You know, whatever. Whatever. Now, I'm going to do a shorter stream than usual. I'm going to be cutting my hair tonight, cutting it down just a little bit. It's just getting a little too long for me, so I decided I'm going to do a little haircut, and then I'm going to take a shower, but I'm not going to do that just yet. I'm going to do that probably around, I think 11 o'clock would be a good time. Once it hits about 11, I'm going to go straight to the bathroom and do my thing. And look good. Gotta look good, dude. Gotta look fresh. Gotta keep my mustache fresh.
Criminal aliens off our streets. We love Lakin. We passed the Genius Act to keep America at the forefront of finance and new technology, and working with Melania and the group, Congress passed the Take It Down Act to protect our nation's children. So that was something. And everyone here tonight has a lot to look forward to, so that
cool to me, man.
In the coming months, we're going to have some very amazing events. One of them is going to be right there where you're standing. It's good. The hardest ticket I have never seen anybody want anything so much as people want those tickets. It's a one-of-a-kind UFC. That's going to be something. UFC event on the South Lawn.
USC,
right there,
baby.
we're going to build an
UFC.
arena. It's going to hold probably, I would say, 4,000, 5,000. The great Dana White is putting it on. We'll get it up to the max. And behind you in the park, the beautiful open piece of land, we're going to have anywhere from 75,000 to 100,000 people, all free of charge. We're building 8 giant screens back there.
That's so crazy, dude. I can't believe they're going to really put this thing on the White House lawn, a UFC fight. It is pretty wild if you think about it.
So we have a small arena here that we're building, never happened before. And in the back, we're going to have close to 100,000 people watching the fight. They're going to be all championship fights. It's going to be great. We also have, as you know, the Indy. Roger Penske is doing the Indy around the Capitol. And that'll be in August. That's going to be unbelievable. He said he's been trying to do that for 25 years. He's made 129 trips to Washington. He was never able to do it. Then he met me. One trip took a half an hour, and we got it done. And it's going to be fantastic. And we have then, of course, FIFA, Johnny. Good old Johnny. He's great. He's doing a fantastic job. Johnny Infantino. We have the FIFA World Cup and our Great American State Fair on the National Mall, and the Freedom 250 Grand Prix here. And then on July 4th, we have an unbelievable display. And don't forget, we have a thing called the Olympics coming up. I got the Olympics during my first term, and then I got FIFA during my first term.
Yep.
And I said, oh, I won't be able to see it because it happened now. But then strange things happened with an election, and I didn't get to serve the 4 years that I was supposed to serve. I don't want to say it. I don't want to be controversial. The election was rigged. And we came back.
My man, dude, my man. We agree with you, bro. I agree with you. I agree with you, Mr. Trump. Wholeheartedly. I really do. I really do. It's just crazy. No, I get it. Like, I had a lot of trouble when they said that you know who won it. I'm glad Trump won this time around. I feel like Trump is saving America. I mean, could you imagine how bad it would be under Kamala Harris? We almost had Kamala Harris and Tim Walz as our presidents. I mean, really think about how bad that would have been. That would have been effing terrible, beyond all belief. It would have been awful. Terrible. You guys are amazing. Thank you. If you guys can, double tap your screen to like the stream. Let's go, bro. Give me another moment, please. Please. Give me a moment, please, to tame your wild, wild heart. All right, give me a few more moments. Gift yum yum. Gift yum yum. All right. Here we go. Oh, thank you so much. Everybody give a shout out to my boy User. Thank you, User. I appreciate that, bro. User gave us a high five. Mucho apreciado, bro. That's our first gift of the stream. Heck yeah, man. Thank you, my brony bro, dude.
Back and we did something very special, and I ended up getting the Olympics and getting FIFA, and we got 252. I want to take credit for 250 years, but that I'm not going to get away with. But we're going to have an amazing period of time. So we have exciting things happening. I just want to leave by saying our country is so strong. Our military is the greatest in the world. You saw that with Venezuela. You see it now with Iran. We wiped out their Navy. The Navy is gone. The Air Force is gone. Their anti-aircraft is gone. All of their material that they use for warfare is gone. Just about everything is gone. I don't want to say their leaders are gone because it's not very nice, but that happens to be true. And they're not going to have a nuclear weapon. They cannot have a nuclear weapon.
Precisely. Exactly. Iran should never have a nuclear weapon. Not a chance. Not even once, bro. Not even once. Hell no. Heck no, dude. Just say no. Just say no to that, bro. You know I'm right. I think most people know I'm right. Come on. Come on. You know I'm
But
right.
we won't be able to
totally
put
right.
up with that, and we're not going to put up with it.
Yeah.
And just to say one final thing, in the history of the world, there's never been anything like happened over the last short period of time. 18 trillion, with a T, dollars is being invested in the United States.
Oh, yeah.
There's never been anything close. As an example, the previous administration, in
That's
4
amazing.
years, the previous administration, in 4 years, had less, substantially less, than $1 trillion.
Wow.
We have $18 trillion in 11 months. We haven't gotten the results from the...
Invested here in the United States. Biden couldn't pull that off. I don't even think Obama could have came close to that. Businesses want to be in America when there is an America first president and a president who cares about capitalism. If you had some sort of socialist like Kamala Harris, this wouldn't be happening. This level of investment would not be happening under a socialist like Kamala Harris, for example.
From the last month, from the 12th month. But think of that, 18 trillion. In the history of the world, there's been no country with anywhere even close to that number. And all of that money is going to building factories. And I mean car plants, auto plants. Everything is coming back. AI plants. We have everything coming back. We've never had a situation like it. We're building plants, thousands of plants all over our country. $18 trillion. It's many times greater than another country, a certain other country that I just visited. If you go, I won't mention names. If you go back 10 years, that had the record at $3 trillion. We're at $18 trillion. There's never been anything like that in history. So I just want to thank you all. You're spectacular people, the political people out there. I love you all. And we're going to have one hell of a time for the next few years. And hopefully the next few years will lead to greatness for many, many years to come. Thank you very much, everybody. Thank you.
Love you, bro.
Thank you.
That's the GOAT for you, man. That's our president, bro. I love it. I love it, I love it, I love it. He's a stud, man. Dude's a stud. He understands the mission, bro. All right, let's give me a moment. Well, we could watch the 5 Vance steamrolls reporter for long questions about Trump's trading stocks. Let's take a look.
You have the Democrats. I call them the Democrats. The Democrats. They're dumb. It's a new name. It's a very accurate name.
President Trump hammering Democrats with his favorite new nickname, the Democrats, while holding an impromptu news conference
That's a great
outside
nickname,
his
bro.
massive
I dig it.
ballroom construction site. This as his number 2, Vice President J.D. Vance, taking his war on fraud to the briefing room and absolutely steamrolling a reporter who turned a minute-and-a-half question into a TED Talk about Trump trading stocks.
That was a doozy. Before I answer your question, I want to just observe there are different ways to ask a question, okay? You can just ask a question, try to get your answer, or you could do like a speech where you say, you know, Mr. Vice President, you're a terrible human being, and so is the president, and so is the entire cabinet. And then I'm like, what's your question? And then your question is, how dare you? Come on, man. have a little bit of objectivity in the way that you ask these questions, because there were a lot of things in that
low IQ
speech
reporter,
masquerading as a
straight up.
question that didn't actually get asked.
Oh, exactly.
And while Republicans fight fraud, Democrats are still fighting Trump. Gavin Newsom is trying to grease up his 2028 prospects by heading to D.C. today for what Kamala would surely call a no bad ideas summit.
Oh, no.
Trump's not screwing around, and nor can we. Yeah, it's uncomfortable fighting fire with fire. Yes, we all want the better angels. Yes, we want the Sorkin sound and music, a little wet.
Oh, God. Newsom is not the answer, dude. If the Democrats honestly think Newsom is the answer, they're far more lost than I would have ever anticipated. And we all know that Gavin Newsom is a slime ball who's going to run. Slime ball. Amazing. Give me a moment. One more moment. All right. Let's do this. Give me a moment, everybody. You guys are probably wondering why Trump is the man.
West Wing. I do. But we'll lose our country. We will lose our country. You saw today, what is the President of the United States spending all his time on? He had a big press conference about the new design for the ballroom. Do not allow this to be normalized.
No, what he's doing is smart. The ballroom is necessary, dude. Don't allow Gavin Newsom to think he's actually a good presidential candidate. This guy's a slime ball. This guy is a super slime ball. Don't forget that this man has been responsible for California. And don't forget that California looks like a total hellhole because of him and Karen Basul.
It's a corruption story. That's the Trump administration. Period. Full stop.
For him to fly out there. Dana.
Yeah.
All right. do you want to comment on the briefing room?
Yeah, I think, yeah. So when J.D. Vance said there's a way to ask a question, you don't have to give a speech. So, or it's like you stand up and say, like, I have a cat. It's like, okay, well, what's your question? But some of the reporters in the room obviously laughed. And one of the reasons is because if you're a regular at the briefing room, it's annoying when somebody stands up and gives a speech. And the other thing is, it reminds me of what Mike McCurry, who was Bill Clinton's press secretary, he was the first to allow cameras in the briefing room. Now, that might have been an inevitable situation because now cameras are everywhere. They're even in Greg's pocket, filming him going down the street, and he didn't even realize. So what happened as soon as you brought cameras in is that now it's a performance. And it's not just a performance at the press secretary position, but in the briefing room as well. And you could usually tell what was going to be one of the first questions from the networks, because if you watch the networks, you can pay attention to what they're looking for. And how is that White House reporter going to make the news that night? How would they make sure that they're going to be the first in line to get one of those very narrow slots? And usually it was because they were doing some sort of performance. So
it's all performative art, you know. And when they're at these press secretary briefings, or whatever the hell you call these things, it's all performative art. And I mean, not just J.D. Vance is just good at being truthful, whereas the rest of the press, in my opinion, is good at being a bunch of theater kids. In all actuality. But it really is just theater kids run amok, man. That's all. That's all it really ultimately is. You know what I mean? I think that's what it is. What do you guys think? You guys think I'm crazy? Do you think I'm right? What do you guys think? I think a lot of those reporters are totally out of their mind.
That is one way to do it. If I could mention one thing on the fraud piece, I love that they are figuring out a way to get this out front and center. It's not something that was like, here, it's an assignment, and then also you have 25,000 other things that you're doing, and it'll just be one of the many things. No, he has figured out a way to say, okay, if I'm going to do this, I'm going to fully do it. It's sort of like when Kamala Harris got the assignment to go to the border, or to handle the border czar, and then she basically tried to push it to the back burner. That is not what J.D. Vance is doing. And people do get very angry about their tax dollars being wasted. And they're able to show in the communications that they're doing exactly what they're trying to do to try to make it better, so that taxpayers feel better about the money that they're spending. And also, if you care about the people that it's supposed to help, you should want more of this.
Yeah, exactly.
I feel extra pressure to have my questions be short. Jesse, weigh in.
Jesse Waters is sexy, by the way. Jesse Waters is the man. So, oh geez, here we go again, dude. I know my dad is watching the show whenever he texts me that he likes chicks with fill in the blank. My dad says he likes chicks with, you know. Good for him. Good for him. My God.
I want to talk about
it's what he's into, man. I think my dad thinks that Jesse Waters is sexy because, well, I mean, Jesse Waters is a man's man, you know. At the end of the day, Jesse Waters is like a stud, and I think everybody is kind of gets sprung when they look at him, you know. I mean, tell me, like, you guys, don't tell me that you don't think Jesse Waters is an attractive. Jesse Waters is an attractive man. All right? Don't tell me that you guys... And my dad obviously loves Jesse Waters. I think he's also a Greg Gutfeld fan. I mean, you can't argue that Greg Gutfeld has the best ratings in late night. Mr. TJ is asking, what about the UFOs? Jesse's show last night talked about the reptiles and aliens. Oh, my God. Jesse Waters, baby. Dude, Jesse Waters is my hero, bro. I love that guy. He's amazing.
About the allegation that
I'm not even that. Look, I'm not a big Fox News fan. Ultimately, the moment they fired Tucker Carlson, I got pissed at them. I was already pretty. The only reason I would watch Fox News was because of Tucker Carlson. Because honestly, I just love Tucker, even if he's gone off the deep end a little bit lately. But I'm a Tucker fanboy, you know. But ever since Jesse Waters filled in the late night for Tuck, you know, I'm pretty, you know, you can't cuck the Tuck. And, you know, Jesse Waters makes everybody wet. That's why his last name's Waters, dude.
that Trump's trading stocks illegally.
Okay.
So you can see what he bought and when he bought it. It's all right here. There's nothing wrong with what he did. So they say he bought oil, okay? He bought oil after the ceasefire, when oil had gone down. Now, if there was something nefarious, he would have bought oil before the war and then sold it at its high and dumped it. He didn't do that. Everybody got into oil then. And then
yeah, I mean, when the price of oil goes down, you know, you do want to invest in it if you can. Why not, dude? Was he selling it? I mean, it depends on what Trump is planning on doing with it. Is he going to sell the oil later on down the road? What's he going to do with it? User over is saying, I appreciate your comment about Jesse Waters, but let's not forget Tucker Carlson was put in the same spotlight, and look how it turned out. Look how he turned. Yeah, he turned out all right, you know, obviously. Uh-oh. Hold on. Give me 1 second, you guys. I want to try something here. Maybe I've been looking at this the wrong way. Okay, let's keep going.
And they say, oh, he bought gold, T-bills, and cash. Okay, that's what everybody did during the war. It's a hedge. It's a safe haven. If you're going to accuse him of doing anything wrong, he actually lost money. Some of these investments, I'm sure he's not proud of it. Some of these, the T-bills lost money. Gold.
Well, first off, Daddy Trump, I love you, bro. But don't get into treasury bills, brother. I think getting into treasury bills is, in my opinion, not a good idea. I just don't trust the full faith and credit of the United States at all. I feel like the dollar is about ready to lose its position as the world reserve currency.
Gift yum yum.
That is a legit fear of mine. Hey, thank you so much, user over, for sending a gold coin for 10 joules. Mucho apreciado. I love it, man. But yeah, no, that's crazy. Let's keep going. I'm trying to maintain a you-know-what.
ETF is actually down. Emerging markets, everybody's in emerging markets. It's nothing suspicious at all. So...
yeah, so Trump invested into some emerging market ETFs. I mean, dude, honestly, whenever the market crashes, that's the best time to buy. Whenever the market crashes, that is the best time to buy. Trump is a real investor because he knows how to buy the dip. He knows that buying the dip is important. So buying the dip on anything is a solid investment. You know, whether people like to admit it or not, Trump does understand the markets. He does. You may not think he does, but he does. The man gets it, bro.
If you want to compare that to Nancy Pelosi, who came into office.
Nancy Pelosi, dude, she is the most guilty. She is the most guilty of them all. Nancy Pelosi is the guiltiest of them all, straight up. You know it. Allegedly.
With no money. And then all of a sudden she earned $300 million. Well, how did she do that? Because Paulie P is her investment manager. Trump is not an investment manager. Paulie P founded an investment firm in San Francisco, which has made an absolute fortune in perfectly timed trades involving.
Exactly. And it's funny because those trades were done right before legislation was announced for certain things to happen. So, coincidence? I'm surprised. Honestly, I'm surprised they're not looking into Nancy Pelosi. Nancy Pelosi should be investigated straight up. I can agree with that.
The tech sector making call options. That's a very sophisticated trade. There's nothing in there like that.
Well, call options are not like super sophisticated. They do have a time limit though. So here's the thing. I mean, if you buy a call option, it expires a month from now. And let's say you do a strike price of $100 and the share price happens to be at $98 currently. And let's say the price shoots up after you buy that call option. Well, that call option is going to go from being worth just maybe, I don't know, a certain amount of dollars to quite a bit of dollars. Call options are risky, though. I'm not the biggest fan of call options. I try to avoid them. But, yeah, I'm just a huge fan of, I swing trade ETFs. That's about where my risk profile lies, is just swing trading ETFs and doing my thing. And also I have my long-term investments as well. Somebody's got TDS, bro. TDS.
This is what anybody that has a diversified portfolio does with their money. It's
exactly. Diversification keeps you on the straight and narrow. It's a security blanket. In a lot of ways, in investing, diversification is a true security blanket, and it does matter quite a bit.
Basically the herd.
Yes.
Not Paulie P. Paulie P is buying call options or put options on large technology companies that are involved with government contracts and government legislation. Nancy sleeps with them. You can't prove she talks to him before bed because how would you do that? You wouldn't even.
You can't. You can't, but there are patterns. There are some very interesting patterns that you could note, that you could see.
Want to. But that's the beauty of it. It's like Beauty and the Beast. Paul's the Beast.
Okay, Greg, would you like to comment on Beauty and the Beast?
Never saw it. Don't have any interest in that crap.
Oh, you will.
Yeah, okay, so we're talking about fraud, and there's so much of it, it's hard to keep up. But we might be overlooking the biggest fraud against the American public in history. We kind of it got lost.
Well, here's the thing. I think just to let you know, just to kind of go back a little bit with what Jesse Waters was saying about Trump having Trump's investments versus Nancy Pelosi's husband's investments, right? It's interesting the timing of the call options for Nancy Pelosi's husband's investment portfolio, I should say. Yet Trump is buying some very basic stuff. Most likely long-term investments. And you guys are grilling him over it? Not the five, I'm just saying the press is grilling him over this. I think it's ridiculous. I think it's short-sighted. I really do.
And it's the Inflation Reduction Act. And I'll get to the reason why. But we just found out the other day that the UN rescinded all dire predictions regarding climate predictions after trillions were taken from taxpayers based on these corrupt forecasts that we were talking about here on the Five, saying this is BS, this isn't true, it can't be true. So all of these green policies and international aid and subsidies, they were all paid for. Everybody got rich off this, and it was from the taxpayers. It was called the Inflation Reduction Act.
Yep, the Inflation Reduction Act created more inflation, which in the long run actually shot the price of stocks upward. Because what happens during inflation, the price is passed on to the consumer, which means higher earnings for all the companies, which means stock price is going to go up. It protects you against inflation. This is why I love stocks, man. This is why I invest in stocks, man. It's a protector. It's a protection against inflation. There's nothing I hate more than inflation. That's why I don't save the dollar. I save my assets, not my cash. Once again, I save my assets, not my cash.
$100 billion in climate provisions that were dressed up as an inflation remedy. A double deception. It pretended to be about inflation, a lie. Number two, it pretended to do something about a major problem. It wasn't a major problem at all. So what did you end up with? Higher inflation because you printed more money, which is what we were saying is going to happen. So not only did it lie to the American people about the problem it was solving, it created the problem it claimed it was solving. Think about that when they start complaining about gas prices, Harold. Ooh, gas prices. Well, at least we know where the gas prices are coming from, and we know what the inflation rate really is and why it's there. You want fraud? Let's also talk about government meddling, right? If you look at the goods and the services over the last 25 years, what's gotten more expensive? What's gotten cheaper? TV, software, cell phone services, clothing, these are all cheaper. Isn't that strange?
Yeah, that is
especially when
interesting. That is actually kind of interesting.
Hospital services, college tuition, housing, childcare, nursing fees have all gotten more expensive. What's the difference? Government meddling. The more people you invite to oversee something, the more rent-seeking grift you're going to get. And that's what...
I see what he's saying. So what Gutfeld is essentially saying is this. The problem we have is too much government interference in certain things make it to where those specific things get more expensive. Government's way too involved in childcare, therefore getting your child into daycare is going to be overly expensive, right? Whereas government is not... How do I say this? The government is not in a... losing my train of thought here. Whereas the government's not in certain industries too much. And where the government is not in the industries too much, the prices are more stabilized and they don't go up like crazy. I say the more the government interferes in any sector of the economy, the more they screw up that sector and they make things more expensive. They make things worse. They really do.
What happened in all those things? You talk about healthcare being untenable. When did that happen? When did that happen? And you want to make universal healthcare? You're nuts. The amount of fraud is so vast, and we only know about it because of Doge and some kid named Nick Shirley, who did the job the journalists...
Oh, yeah, Nick Shirley did exactly what the journalists didn't do. Nick Shirley made things happen, bro.
Felt was beneath him. Every journalist should be ashamed whenever they hear the name Nick Shirley.
Oh, yeah, because Nick Shirley actually did his... With an iPhone and a couple security guards, Nick Shirley was able to out-journal all the mainstream media journalists, because you want to know why? The mainstream media is incompetent. They rest on their laurels, and they are highly incompetent. Straight up.
Because you were too busy chasing grannies in red hats and calling out people for misgendering some green-haired weasel. But meanwhile, Doge and Nick Shirley and the Chris Rufos of the world, they turned over the rock that you never wanted to.
Ooh, Harold.
So it's good to be with everybody. It's good to be with everybody. I have a different opinion today. I think that I ask our viewers and ask everybody around the table, put aside that this is President Trump in office today and say it's a Democrat in office. And you learn that a Democrat talked to the CEO of Micron, advised him on some things, then went and bought shares of his stock. You learn that that Democrat president talked to the CEO of Intel and said, we're going to make an investment the United States will, and then he went and bought the stock. I just think it's all wrong. Now, to the point about fraud,
I can see where he's coming from on that. You know, I'm not a big fan. Here's the thing. I'm not a big fan of government purchasing shares of companies like Intel, or I may love these companies, but I'm not a big fan of government being a partial owner of these companies. I don't trust government at all. I do not want us to turn into China. It just feels like a move that China would do. And I got to agree with this guy. I don't like it. You should not be buying... President shouldn't be buying Intel stock after he talks with their CEO. He just shouldn't. That just feels like insider stuff, you know. It doesn't feel right. Like, especially, but like if you want to buy like just general ETFs and stuff, okay, that's fine. But if you're going to buy a specific company after talking with that specific company's CEO, I will admit, Trump, I'm not a fan of that. It does feel fishy. I don't know if that's what happened. I'm going to say allegedly. I still love Trump. I think he's great, but that just feels very sketch. Very sketch.
Applaud the vice president. I hope he not only
it feels like a Pelosi maneuver.
Finds all of it. I said from the outset when the Minnesota matter was first introduced here on this show, the chips, wherever the chips fall, let the chips fall where they may, and those who have had their hands in the jar the wrong way should be prosecuted.
Hey, thank you so much, user over. I appreciate the thumbs up for 10 jewels. Mucho appreciato. Thank you, brother. Hey, if any of you guys want to send a gift, feel free to tap the gift button and send me whatever you want. I appreciate all the gifts. You guys are amazing. Amazing. But yeah, thank you guys for coming to this channel's rescue.
Executed, and if convicted, they should go to jail. But it doesn't seem right to me on this day, when you put this up, if we're going to criticize Ms. Pelosi, and she probably deserves some criticism, we have to be critical and be consistent here. Yeah. Finally, it's been reported since we've been on the show, or maybe an hour ago, that the president worked out a deal with the DOJ that would allow his family to not have any matters that involve the IRS that they may have had some malfeasance with or not over the many years, that those matters would not be pursued by the IRS. Now, there are a lot of Americans.
That's wild. That I'm not a fan of. That does sound pretty sketchy. I'll admit that. I don't like the IRS, but yeah, something about that sounds a little sketch.
Who are being investigated right now by the IRS, who think that they're right and that the IRS is wrong. The president has every right to believe that he's right and that they're wrong. But to have this be a part of a settlement, the president sued the Department of Justice. So essentially, he became the plaintiff and the defendant because it's his Justice Department. Then the Justice Department that reports to him worked out a deal with him to do this. If this were a Democrat, I'd be the first on the show saying something is very wrong here, and someone ought to investigate this. The president's my friend, and don't get me wrong, he remains my friend. But if he were a Democrat, I think we'd have a little different tone around the table about him and about the things that have been going on.
I think that's unfair.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie. He made some good points, and honestly, this guy's a lot. He may be a Democrat, but he's way better than Jessica Tarlov, dude. Jessica Tarlov is terrible. She is so bad. Now, my dad has a crush on Jessica Tarlov. He thinks that she's the perfect woman, and good for you, Dad. Good for you.
Tell me why.
My dad's about as liberal as you could get. He's riding with Biden, man. He's riding with Biden.
Because you're assuming that we
well, you did it with
favorites.
Pelosi. You did it with.
I don't care about Pelosi. I actually don't care about any of this stuff. I care about the fraud that's being acted upon the American public. So nobody, you could be right. But
I don't think you're wrong about the fraud. I want that to be pursued. But in the same breath, Greg, if this were public officials, we can't say members of Congress shouldn't be trading, but the president can. We can't say that members of Congress can't gain information on public information, but the president. That's the only point I'm making. At some point, it's going to be someone in office that you don't support. And I just hope, actually, I hope you change your mind on this issue, because this is a bad thing for the country, I think, if first allowed this.
Can I shed a bit of legal light on the DOJ situation, though, thanks to Carrier Bond from here? The issue was that the president, his tax returns were released. And that is a felony. That is a crime. And it has taken this amount of years for the IRS to identify who it was. And that's.
Oh, yeah. You know, the fact that they actually released private. And by the way, just to let you know, even the president of the United States has a right to keep his IRS documentation private. And the fact that there was a. In the fact that somebody released that information at the IRS is beyond disturbing. I mean, I don't trust the IRS anyway, so I guess it doesn't shock me that that an employee of the IRS would do something this stupid. But yeah, I don't trust the IRS for the life of me at all, man.
So the settlement is because of the conundrum that you outlined, which is them realizing the plaintiff is indeed in control of the defendant here.
A court would throw that out immediately.
That's why the settlement occurred, because it was sort of a legal, again, conundrum that was novel, that hadn't been seen before. They needed a resolution.
But Emily, the only leverage he had over them is that he could fire them. That no court would entertain this, because you can't be the plaintiff and the defendant.
That's why the resolution occurred as it did.
No, they did it because Blanche works for him. And I like Todd, but let's be on the level here if we're going to be on the level.
Be on the level. Just be on the level.
All right, coming up next.
Emily rocked your world just now.
Good to be the plaintiff and the defendant.
All right.
Be sure to like and subscribe.
Jesse Waters is sexy. Now we're going to watch Tim Dillon explain that Donald Trump and Tucker Carlson betrayed MAGA.
Movement I've ever seen in my life. I think Trump's damaged the Republican brand in the near future for years to come.
You said a great line. You said,
I don't think he has. If anything, I think Trump has rejuvenated the Republican brand. I think for a while, the Republican brand was kind of lame, and I do believe that Trump took it back. He got it back. I'm going to disagree with Tim Dillon on this one. I love you, Tim Dillon. I think you're a funny motherfucker, but you're so wrong on this. So wrong.
The Democrats will win the midterms if they stop being insufferable CUNTs.
Tony reminds me of Charlie Kirk, and that he's definitely been on camera letting a guy unload at his throat.
It's a joke that will upset some people. That doesn't mean you don't tell it.
Somebody called me a satanic pedophile, right?
They've done the work.
Comedian, podcaster, actor, writer, Tim Dillon wears many hats. Those are just a few. He's disappointingly not wearing a hat today, but many know him for his Netflix comedy specials, others for the acerbic commentary on his podcast. It was on that podcast, just days before the presidential election, that J.D. Vance explained how a war in Iran would be in Israel's interest, but not America's. Time has moved on. And while Dillon is often called a MAGA podcast, even a MAGA bro, he now says that MAGA is the biggest con in history. For some reason,
I don't think it's a con, by the way. I don't think MAGA is a con. Make America Great Again, it matters. And I'll tell you why Make America Great Again matters. We saw what life was like under Obama. We saw what life was like under Trump. It was good. Nothing was bad under Trump in 2016. There are a couple things. Nothing's perfect, but 2020. We had to ride with Biden, right? We're riding with Biden. 2024. We elected Trump because we realized that Biden was bad for America. Oh, and also don't forget that Kamala Harris, she ran against Trump. And the Democrats were delusional enough to believe that Kamala Harris would win against Trump. I mean, that's a level of commitment to delusion that I could ever imagine, man. I love it.
Reason he's not been banned from entering the United Kingdom, and he joins me now. Tim, great to meet you.
Well, thank you so much. I have not been banned, and I hope to not be banned. I enjoy it here. I like it here too much to get banned.
I mean, look, a lot of Americans, and I blame Tommy Robinson for a lot of this stuff, but a lot of Americans seem to be under a very weird view of this country right now and the capital city in particular. You've been here for a few days now. What's your view of it?
I love it here. I'm getting a little bit of a skewed point of view. I'm staying in a beautiful area, in a beautiful hotel. There are protests, which I like coming when things are...
One to the right, one to the left yesterday.
One to the right, one to the left. It was amazing. There were dueling protests...
At the same time.
...outside of my hotel window, and I was drinking tea and watching, and that was great. I enjoyed it. I thought it was great. I like going to a place when it's chaotic. But no, there's an idea that everything is, it's a crime-ridden hellscape.
Right.
I have not found that.
No.
I have not found that.
It's bullshit.
Yeah, I think there you have areas.
I don't know. I mean, I've heard stories, mixed messages here. I mean, it probably depends on where you're staying out there in the UK, wherever Tim Dillon's talking about.
Areas that are a problem.
Right.
We did see one guy, two young guys chasing each other. One kid was chasing another kid, and that other kid ran into a grocery store. I don't know what that was. It seemed violent, but it's whatever.
But also, I mean, no offense. I mean, look, I love America, and I love Americans, and I've lived and worked there since 20 years now. And we both have a place in LA, and we both spend a lot of time in New York. The idea that somehow London is more crime-ridden in great American cities like LA, like New York.
No, you don't have crime the way
birds.
that we have crime.
Right.
I think what happens is when somebody gets a watch stolen.
Yes.
Or something happens, it's in the paper immediately. And people react to that. Obviously, it's wrong. Nobody should have their watch stolen. But, like, I think you're not dealing with the crime the way we... I mean, I've driven through your quote-unquote bad areas. Yeah. They're lovely. They're actually
They're like your good areas.
Yeah, no. It's not a problem at all. Like, people tell me to go to these areas. They go, you got to go here, you got to go there. And then you go there, you go, yeah, I think it's okay. I think it's okay. Not compared to what we have.
I will admit, all things considered, in America, there are certain places that you don't want to live. Certain neighborhoods you don't want to go. And you want to avoid it at all costs. Absolutely. 100%. Straight up.
There was some big events going on at the same time as the rallies, one of which was Eurovision. Are you aware of Eurovision?
I do. I'm very aware of it. I'll watch clips of it. As an American, we're not in it. Are we in it?
No, you're not. It's the European countries
only. We're not
only.
in it. I will tell you that I found a lot of what Israel has done over the last few years questionable. But now that they have come in second, I'm swayed. Personally,
What do you think about the whole debate about, people get very exercised about whether you should ban Israel from a singing competition, like Eurovision, or ban them from competing?
Well, I mean, why would you ban? Well, I don't know. Why would you ban Israel from a singing competition? Did the person live in the UK, and did they just happen to be Israeli? Like, what's the deal there? Give me a moment, you guys. All right, let's keep going.
Competing, like Iran might be banned from the Soccer World Cup and so on. What do you feel about punishing countries who may be engaged in military conflicts? People would argue back, well, hang on, America's engaged in an action in Iran, which many people view as illegal, for example. Should they be banned from hosting?
E.T. E.T. is saying, Garza, I've been banned. Oh no, E.T., I love you, bro. I love you, brony. St. Pinor is saying Trump is being a poopy butthead. I don't agree, St. Pinor, but I love you anyway, bro. Frog Eat Frog says, hello. What's up, Frog Eat Frog? Mwah. I hope everything's going well for you, brother. It's good to see you, man. We got Frog Eat Frog in the house, everybody. We got our boy, the frog. The water is turning the frickin' frogs gay. E.T. says, WTF. YouTube is blocking my comments. I'm sorry to hear that, brother.
A World Cup.
Yeah, to me, it's all about money. And if people are really, upset about something going on, you have to cut off funding. So I think at this point, until we can rein Israel in, we can't fund them anymore militarily. I think that's becoming a mainstream view in my country. I don't think we care about a song contest. I think people have to stop with the song and dance contest and banning people from the pie eating contest. Who really cares? It's about the money and it's about the funding. So to me, it's like it feels good to say, well, they can't compete in Eurovision. To me, it's a completely pointless exercise.
Why is it that Israel is becoming increasingly unpopular as a country in the United States, to the extent that 60% of Americans now have a negative view of Israel?
Yeah, well, I mean, I understand the negative view, and I don't fully support their negative view, but I understand where it comes from. I don't necessarily disagree with it completely. I don't fully agree with it either, though. But I do understand the sentiment. Frog Eat Frog is asking, is that Tim Dillon? Yes, it is. Yes, sir, it is. Mr. Frog Eat Frog. E.T. says, you can't see me. Frog Eat Frog says AP, a.k.a. E.T. We see you, dog. We see you. You're my pink brony bros, and we dance at the gear club. Oh my God, I'm just having fun on stage in my hooves. I'm wearing a man thong. Ugh.
That would have been unthinkable 20 years ago.
I think people feel very uncomfortable about the nature of the relationship. I think Netanyahu clearly has a political agenda that we don't feel benefits America. He's constantly in the White House convincing Trump that that agenda is part of whatever movement Trump has created, this populist movement. Nobody agrees with that. That there's a very small group of people. And one of Trump's best ideas, because I grew up during the Iraq War and Afghanistan, was that we should stay out of unwinnable foreign conflicts and focus on the economic well-being of the American people. and that's been completely thrown out the window.
Which is why I don't understand this whole Iran thing from a political, never mind anything else, from the political economic aspect of this decision by Trump. And I said it from day.
So I understand it completely in the sense that I think the reason that it's been done, the reason why Trump has done it, is because Iran, a powerful Iran makes the world a more dangerous place. Because, you know, if Iran has a nuclear weapon, the world becomes more dangerous. Simple as that. The world becomes more dangerous when Iran has a nuclear weapon, straight up.
Day one. There seemed to be no clear end game here. Was it regime change? Was it preventing...
Tylord is asking, when did Garza get mods? I don't think I got any mods, man. Oh, I see what you're saying. CD Borlock is saying, Michael, before it's an issue, I dislike a mod of yours. He shows up and bullies users. Yeah, that's the thing. The only mod that I have on this channel is Nightbot. And Nightbot is an automated service that rotates messages into the chat. So it's crazy.
Nuclear weapon, was it this other? But here we are, you know, several months into this thing now. No sign of it ending, no sign of any regime change, no sign of the people rising up. Iran suddenly discovering if they can just control the Strait of Hormuz, they can hold everyone to economic ransom. And if they pop a few rockets up at their neighbors, they can damage their business models potentially for a very long time. And here's Trump, never more unpopular in the polls personally. The economy is really struggling from this. Cost of living is going up again when it was coming down the right way. And he's got midterms in November. And you think, none of this makes sense to me.
None of it makes sense. I feel as if he thought he had to do it. And for whatever reason, people can make up their own mind.
Do you think that was pressure from Netanyahu?
I think it was pressure from Netanyahu.
Yeah, I do.
I think I would say that that's a pretty rational way to think about it. I don't believe that Trump thought this was in America's best interest. I think he was kind of convinced one way or another to enter the war without
first off, Trump's been talking about Iran for years. Off and on. And Trump knew that Iran was dangerous. Yeah, Tim, what are you talking about, bro? ET is asking if I've got a problem with bots. I don't think so. Annie says, random guy, LOL. Let's see. Yeah, so we got E.T., we got Annie, we got Ty Lord, we got Frog Eat Frog. Yeah, I love E.T. as well.
a plan. I mean, you know, the article in the New York Times with Jonathan Swan and Maggie Haberman, they're great reporters. You have, you know, the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff. You have CIA. You have people going, this is not going to be easy. And we probably cannot affect regime change. But you have, and basically saying the Israelis oversell, Mr. President.
Frog Eat Frog is not real. OMG. OMG. Frog Eat Frog was never real. My God. Frog. Eat frog. Oh my God. My man, dude. My man, dude, it's the plot twist of the century, bro. Plot twist of the century. Give me a second, my brony bros. Oh. Oh, yeah. Frog eat frog, everybody.
That's what they're doing. And they're talking to Trump like a real estate developer from New York. They're saying to him, they're overselling. They're using us. All of the words that should have popped in his mind and went, right. We are being, dragged into this. But he still went ahead and did it. So,
Uncle Chris, are any of us real? Are any of us really, really real? I don't know anymore, bro. We're just not real.
I don't know.
I think he regrets it now.
I think he regrets it now. And I think he thought it was going to be like Venezuela or like killing Soleimani or any of these things.
And also, when you get into Tim, yesterday he made another post where he's talking again about annihilating everyone in Iran.
Yeah, it's too much.
It's like, that's number 6 times.
Too much.
It's the boy that cried wolf. It's the emperor with no clothes. If you're not careful, for the president of the United States to keep threatening Armageddon and then nothing happens.
And then we don't want to put him in the box where he actually does something insane.
Right.
So by saying this, and we go, well, you're crying wolf, we don't want to press him.
No, I agree.
We don't want to do that.
I'm looking at him.
I agree with you.
I've known him a long time, and I'm looking at him thinking.
I don't know. I just don't think Trump's that bad. I think Trump's a little intense. But you guys are acting like he's like the worst thing ever? Nah. I don't think so.
He now knows he's got to get out of this. But extricating the United States out of this is not easy.
No, I think he just should threaten them for the next 3 years. Threaten every couple of months.
Yeah.
Just keep pushing it, keep kicking it down, keep threatening.
You know what? It's actually not a bad strategy.
It's a great strategy.
Yeah.
Annihilation's coming.
Yeah.
It's all over soon. You won't have air to breathe. Whatever he's going to do, keep truth socialing it. Keep saying it. Don't do it. But I think that's the strategy.
What's been your Trump journey?
I don't even know what Trump... Dude, I know Trump's strategy's been delay. That's been a huge problem. It's been predicated on nothing but delays, which is... Where do we go from there? It's crazy, man. It is insanity.
Journey arc from when he was, doing The Apprentice. I was on it, won it with him, to then becoming a politician, then winning that 2016 election, then
I think
coming out and then winning again.
I think there's the mass migration of people from one place to another is the biggest issue of our time. Whether people want to admit it or not, not everybody talks about it in an eloquent way, but it is the biggest issue of our time. How to assimilate people into an existing economic, political, cultural sphere is very difficult. Trump came out and talked about that issue, and again, in a way that offended a lot of people and drove a lot of people crazy. It's a big issue in the UK. Farage is about to potentially win with this issue, right? So he came out, and to me it was very interesting because the working class in the United States, and I think the working class here, feels like they've fallen behind tremendously.
Yeah.
And if you look at cities like London and New York, a lot of people are buying property that don't even live there. It's a boon for luxury real estate. It's a boon for finance. But really, people that, are, British born of all races, of all religions, but have called this country home forever, feel like they're losing ground. That was happening in the United States. Trump gave a voice to that, which no one else had. He also gave a voice to this idea that going around the world and wasting money on pointless, unwinnable, largely Middle Eastern wars was bankrupting America, saddling our children with debt. These were his two main salient points.
Have you voted for him at all?
I didn't vote in the last. No, I didn't vote.
You didn't first time
I was in Texas doing a podcast with Joe Rogan, and I'm registered in New York, so I was there election day. In New York, your vote doesn't really matter.
Would you have voted for him?
Probably, yeah. I think certainly the last time. I think Kamala Harris and Biden were a disaster. I believe that. But again,
absolutely true. 100%.
This turn to Iran, to interventionism, to me feels like the biggest betrayal of a political movement I've ever seen in my life.
And it's really interesting to me how it split the conservative right pretty well down the middle.
Yeah.
Where you now have people lining up, whacking each other in a way that, again, would have seemed unthinkable a few years ago. What do you think is going on there? Is it the Israel issue?
Well, that's
pulling
a
them
big
apart?
part of it, but I also think it's preparation for the inevitability of what comes next.
Of life after Trump.
Life after Trump. And a lot of people feel Vance is not a viable candidate and he won't win. So obviously you look at a guy like Joe Kent who resigned, he clearly has political aspirations. Maybe Tucker does, I don't know. But there's a lot of talk about that. There's the preparation for what comes next.
Polymarket has J.D. Vance at 36% now, Marco Rubio 25%, Tucker Carlson at 7%.
Yeah.
We've had the host of The Apprentice. So
I still think J.D. Vance has a very good chance of becoming the primary Republican nominee. I think Vance is going to be the chosen one, dude. I really do. I think Vance is going to be the man, dude. Oh, I love it, dude. I love it. It's amazing, though, man. I think Nate Dogg says Garza's preparing for a sleep stream. I am feeling very. I didn't get a lot of sleep last night. Actually, I ended up waking up really early, and I ended up going to bed pretty late, and got up early. So, but yeah, I don't know. But I think J.D. Vance, just to let you know, man, I think that personally, I'm a Vance fan. I think he's going to win the primary in 2028 when that comes around, if he decides to run. Then again, Marco Rubio could be our guy. Marco Rubes, dude. I love the Rubio.
Served 2 terms as American president. Tucker Carlson, whether people love him or hate him or don't even care about him, he's incredibly televisual. He's incredibly eloquent, fast-talking, inspirational to many people.
Yeah.
Is it unthinkable that someone like him could become the new face of the Republican Party?
Certainly not. I don't think it's unthinkable. I think it would really depend on if the country was going to give any Republican a shot after this. I think Trump's damaged the Republican brand in the near future for years to come.
I don't think he's ruined the Republican brand by any means. One could argue that in some way, shape, or form, he may have enhanced it. And even saying that does feel a little like a stretch. I don't know. Man. I don't know. I'm trying to wake my ass up, you guys. Hold on. Thank you guys for double tapping the screen to like the stream. Appreciate it. Gifts equal instant shout outs, just to let you know. So don't forget that.
If the Democrats don't screw it up, which they can.
It's always in their locker.
It's always in, they can always screw it up.
And I don't see the thing is, I keep saying to people, I don't see who the new Clinton, Obama, that kind of left of center, appealing, charismatic, smart, politically savvy person.
I think it's honestly, this discussion is just tiring me out, dude. It's killing my vibes. I like Tim Dillon. I think he's fantastic. I think he's funny. Yeah. Ed Galrin victory speech. Let's take a listen.
Ed Galrin, his victory speech starting now in.
And this was a Trump endorsed candidate for the Republican primary in Kentucky, I think.
Kentucky, let's listen.
And then the left will make its stand. It will bring its craziness to our borders.
Thank you, folks. I just have a few remarks. Can you hear me okay? They're good, and I speak fluent Kentuckian. But I start with God is good. Amen. Now, some folks, I want you to bear with me. It might not make sense to all of you, but it's a long way from a family dairy farm on the river bottoms here in Kentucky to standing in front of you here tonight as the Republican nominee for Kentucky Congressional District 4. The winner of the race tonight is not so much Ed Galrin. I'll come back to that. But it's the Republicans of Kentucky Congressional District 4 and their families who I will be a champion for in Washington. They're the winners.
Hell yeah.
I want to thank a few folks, and bear with me, I'll keep this short. I want to thank President Trump for his support.
Trump is the man, by the way. Trump is the man. Don't you guys forget that. And then let's keep going.
His endorsement and his counsel as I navigated this campaign, which is a journey of unto itself. And for his courageous leadership of our nation at this critical time. I want to emphasize that. This critical time and juncture in history. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, T-Dog. I appreciate you, bro.
I want to thank my family that have endured this campaign in many ways that have been so unfair to them. I want to thank my team back here, and this is some of them here. Round of applause.
Beautiful team. Yeah.
Now, we got a saying on the farm that family farm is a contact sport. I can tell you that campaigning is one as well, isn't it, folks? A lot of talent back here. I want another round of applause for my team. Not only the ones in here, but I see them out there.
Yeah, I've never really heard of this guy before, but, you know, congratulations, brother. Congratulations. That's what the Trump bump does, dude. The Trump endorsement, man, can get you up to the next level you need to get to, man. Get you up, man. Yeah, dude. Mega. It's mega time, bro. Mega. Mega. Sega. Mega. Dun 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 dun.
There as well. Thank y'all. Thank y'all for what you've done. And thank you for what you do. Can I take a minute and also thank my teachers, all the way back to Miss Harden at St. Paul, Sister Mary Dorothea, Sister Mary Fulgence, Coach Walt Heath from Franklin Simpson just sent me a note, and I could go.
Oh, I thought he was going to say Coach Tim Walz for a second. I thought he was about ready to name drop our boy, Coach Tim Walz, bro. Coach Walz, baby. Coach Walz is my favorite coach. Eminem coming out the closet.
Go on, but the kind of people that shaped me into the young man I was and never realized till so many years later, you know, what they'd done, including my FFA teacher, Mr. Hammers, World War II veteran sniper. Wonderful man, humble as the day is long. I want to thank my teammates from FFA, that's Future Farmers of America, for you out-of-towner folks. That's a big deal in Kentucky, okay? FFA. To football, to SEAL team, and the Joint Special Operations team that I've served on all over the world. Thank them, for they made me the better person that I am. And the more I was promoted, the more awards I got, the more humble I came. Now my focus is on advancing the president's and the party's agenda to put America first and Kentucky always.
Yeah, dude, I like it. And, you know, I want to see an America First policy, obviously, no matter what. And that's the thing about Trump that I like, is he is a very America First president, and that's the one thing that people don't understand about this man, dude. Trump is the America First president, straight up. Guys may not like that. It's not, you know, something that everybody likes, but you just gotta get used to it, bro. Trump ain't going nowhere, bro. Trump ain't going nowhere, man. Give me just a few moments, you guys. Sorry. Yeah, I'm a little tired for the night. I think see how much longer I can pull this off here. Well, I'll tell you what, congratulations to him for winning the primary. We'll see what happens. Ooh. Is that Scott Jennings?
We have a projection to make.
Okay, Scott Jennings is pretty hot, dude. Scott Jennings gives me a you-know-what, so.
Kentucky, CNN can now project that Ed Gallrein will win the Republican primary against Thomas Massie for the 4th Congressional District in Kentucky. Harry, this call came a lot earlier than pretty much anybody had thought it might come, and it certainly came a lot earlier than it has in prior years when there have been primaries in Kentucky. You, however, were not surprised.
I wasn't surprised. I wasn't surprised at all, because the bottom line is this. Donald Trump is the general of the Republican Party.
He is. He absolutely is. Granted, you know, I want Chris Dudley to be the Republican governor. Gift yum yum. Gift yum yum. Oh, thank you, Nate Dogg. I appreciate the gifts. Uh-oh. How many gifts are we getting here? Uh-oh. We're getting lots of sparklies. Oh, we got the 10. Okay. I gotta act cute. Cute, ooh woo. Cute, ooh woo. I am cute, ooh woo. Cute, ooh woo. I am the cutest of the ooh woos. My race is the ooh woos. Ooh woo, ooh woo. I am so cute. Ooh woo. I am the cutest man of them all. I am the cutest of all time. Let's keep watching.
And the Republican primary voters are his soldiers. And if you look at Thomas Massie, you can see it very clearly. You look in 2020, 2022, 2024, he was getting 75%, upwards of 81% of the primary vote in 2020. And today, he gets less than 50% of the vote. That's the story.
That is incredible, because you look at it so consistent time after time after time, and then, wow, look
Boom.
at tonight.
Scott Jennings, you're know Kentucky well. Surprised at all?
No, not surprised. I actually live in the 4th Congressional District, so I've been on the receiving end of all this mail and TV ads and text messages, and the money really did pour in. It was the most expensive U.S. House primary in American history. And money came in from all corners of the Republican Party and the conservative movement to defeat Thomas Massie. They follow the president's lead on this. You know, what's the old song? You don't tug on Superman's cape, you don't spit into the wind, you don't pull the mask off the old Lone Ranger, and you don't mess around with Trump in a Republican primary. And that's what Thomas Massie has done.
I mean, Trump has his hold on the Republican Party. If Trump endorses a candidate, that candidate is more than likely going to win. That's just the truth. I mean, that candidate is very likely to win if Trump endorses that candidate. I wouldn't say it's a guarantee, but it's a pretty much a conclusion.
And by becoming his chief antagonist in the U.S. House, and this became really a referendum on, is Thomas Massie on the team or not? And Trump said he wasn't. The voters followed.
Alyssa, I mean, you said he was kind of MAGA before MAGA.
Yeah, when I worked for the Freedom Caucus, he was actually too right to be part of the Freedom Caucus. He kind of marches to the beat of his own drum. He's more libertarian than anything. And this is someone who voted with Trump about 89% of the time. Doesn't vote for continuing resolutions, often votes against government.
That's not bad. Oh, yeah.
Government funding bills and foreign aid. But the real issue here, we have to say, is Jeffrey Epstein. It's the Epstein files. Thomas Massie was one of the leading voices with Ro Khanna about accountability around Epstein, sticking it to the Justice Department. And that's why this happened. I mean, House leadership has supported him in the past, despite him being a bit of a pain at times. This was really over Epstein accountability. But to Scott's point, the base of the party is still with Trump, even with Epstein looming large.
I somewhat disagree. The key vote that House leadership turned on him over was the big, beautiful bill. I mean, the working
House
families
leadership, but
tax
the president.
Credit. Well, but that's the president's domestic policy agenda, and you cannot become an apostate on two issues in a Republican primary: taxes and immigration. Massie voted against Trump's immigration security. He voted against Trump's tax cuts.
That's I mean, Scott Jennings is laying down the line, dude. Dude, Scott Jennings is the GOAT.
So when you become a chief antagonist, when you're voting with the squad against Donald Trump's domestic policy agenda, it's not Epstein.
But that's
it's
because he was against raising the national debt, which used to be a Republican talking point. So that's exactly why he says he voted against the big, beautiful bill. And Republicans seemingly don't talk about the national debt as much as they used to. So I think we need to be fair in what he said he was voting for. Exactly. But I mean, that is why he voted against the big, beautiful bill and against the Iran war. But as Alyssa said, 90% of the time, he was voting with the
that
president.
percentage is much lower now. I think this Congress, it's been more like 70. I mean, look, when you're voting with the Democrats that often, look, politics is a team sport. He's just not been on the president's team.
Anderson, you focused on this race here. It's the biggest race of the evening because it pits the President of the United States against a prominent Republican congressman who the president simply has decided he doesn't want to tolerate anymore, and the President of the United States has won yet again. At one of the weakest moments, if not the weakest moment of his presidency nationally, the president's poll numbers are tanking. Democrats are very confident about November, but the president is proving here in Kentucky, 4th congressional district, yet again tonight, that he still has a pretty iron grip on the Republican Party primary electorate anyway. Ed Galrine, former Navy SEAL, he is the president's favored challenger endorsed in this race. He's winning by about 9 points, 8 points if you round that up, I guess, at the moment, over an incumbent Republican Congressman, Tom Massey, who's won comfortable in his district for quite some time. Anderson, most of the people live here, the Cincinnati suburbs, 3 County here, and the northeast Louisville suburbs here, and you see that's Ed Galrine's red all across.
Yeah, it looks like, I mean, like anybody that Trump endorses, man, they're going to win in these Senate races or Senate primaries. Granted, we're going to see what the result ends up being during the Senate votes, the votes for the senator of Kentucky, who is, Democrat versus Republican here. Interesting. Interesting. Oh, yeah. Squad-a-la. I'm jacking off. Oh, my God. Just kidding. Just kidding. Squad-a-la. Alerts and widgets. Here we go. I do want to change something on the GIFs one, though, real quick. Hold on. The Mostly Toastly is back, and he is demanding an apology from me. The Mostly effing Toastly, bro, demands that I apologize, that I get on my knees, and I'm begging, please. Don't love me no more. Give me one moment. I have to change a few settings on the Streamlabs. OMG. Small Wiener Gang. Small Wiener Gang. Thank you for subscribing to
Laugh Out Loud. Laugh Out Loud.
There we go. I changed the gift setting thing.
Laugh Out Loud. Laugh Out Loud.
Laugh out loud.
There. You see Massey's winning only two counties in
Laugh
the district.
out loud.
They're out here. They include his home county, Lewis County. Significant, maybe a moral victory that Massey's winning here because Donald Trump did win 87% in this county in 2024. But moral victories don't count when this math is overwhelmingly against you. Again, 54 to 46 if you round that up. This is where the population lives. And more competitive in the suburban counties than in the rural counties. But Gilrine's still winning. So even here, this was Massey's only hope. Most of the people live up here, and it's 52-48
Laugh out loud.
here. It's 53-47 there, and it's 55-45 there if you round it. And again,
well, I don't have any censorship for Nightbot. I don't tell Nightbot to censor anything. So chances are, YouTube could be censoring what you're saying. There is that possibility. So keep that in mind. Other than that, though, I have no idea what YouTube is doing half of the time. I really don't, man. It's tough to say. Like, it really is. It's crazy.
The only place where we were still waiting for a decent amount of votes still is Oldham County, which is just outside of Louisville to the northeast of Louisville. It's a suburban area. But even if Massey, it's just not enough, Anderson, in the math. So if you look at it, it's pretty convincing. Donald Trump has always run very strong in rural America. He's always run very strong in rural Kentucky. And in the rural parts of the district, with the exception of Massey's home base right here, the challenger is winning. And this is more interesting to me in the...
Either way, man, I don't know. Look, Trump has a hold on the Republican Party. We're behind Trump, dude. We're not behind him on everything, granted. But we're behind him on most things. We want a strong border. We want the, we need to stop Iran, in my opinion. So I think what we're doing in Iran is justified, ultimately. And, we'll see what the result ends up being, man. But I do want to thank you guys for taking the time to view. I'm just a little bit tired, man. I am actually quite a bit tired right now. So I'll tell you what, I'll catch you guys later. I do appreciate you all for tuning in, and hope you all just have an incredible rest of the evening, okay? Bye for now. Maybe. Medic is asking, how is this live if Massey is losing? Oh, this isn't like live coverage. I'm just reviewing. I am reacting to the things that happened. I am reacting to everything. Anyway, thank you guys for your time. Thank you for being incredible channel members, for being subscribers. It really does help the channel in a lot of ways. Like I said, I'm burnt out right now, so first I got to cut my hair, take a shower, probably head to bed after that, most likely. But for now, might even stay up and maybe play a video game. I'm not sure. But I'll catch you guys later. Have fun, everybody. Oh, and don't forget to send a gift or a super chat. Those things do help.